A very good evening to you and welcome to Idea TV News at 9. I am Cynthia Bassi. Now let's begin with the headlines. Vice President Shettima reaffirms government support for armed forces. NAF airstrikes hit Boko Haram stronghold in Borno. Federal government launches new textbook and graduation policy. EKITI Assembly says key laws drove development in 2025. Away from Africa, UAE steel firm moves to buy struggling UK steelmaker. And in health, KATSINA sets up committee to boost women empowerment. In business, Nigeria to debut Nigeria House Davos at World Economic Forum. And in sports, Morocco beats Cameroon 2-0 to reach AFCON 2025 semi-finals. And now the news in full. Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to empowering the Nigerian armed forces to tackle the country's security challenges. He spoke on Friday during a special Jumat prayer at the National Mosque in Abuja, marking the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. Shettima honored the sacrifices of fallen soldiers and prayed for strength for their families, as well as continued protection and support for serving personnel. The observance, held annually on January 15th, was recently renamed to reflect its dual purpose of celebrating active forces while remembering those who have died in service. The Vice President expressed optimism that under President Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria would achieve lasting peace and stability, and called for divine guidance in empowering the military and other security agencies to overcome ongoing threats. Moving on, the Nigerian Air Force has destroyed Boko Haram structures and logistics facilities in Abagajiri, a non-terrorist enclave in the Timbuktu Triangle of Borno State. The airstrikes were carried out on Thursday, January 8. Air Force officials say the operation followed confirmed intelligence showing active terrorist presence in the area. Precision strikes targeted insurgent hideouts and supply points inside the Zambisa forest, killing several fighters and crippling their movement. The military says the strikes were conducted to weaken terrorist capability and support advancing ground troops, who later confirmed the success of the operation. The Air Force says it will continue intelligence-led operations to deny insurgents sanctuary and protect civilians. In another news, the federal government has unveiled a policy to reduce the cost of education and improve learning outcomes in primary and secondary schools. The framework prioritizes durable, reusable textbooks, standardized revisions, and limits the number of approved textbooks per subject. The policy also streamlines graduation ceremonies, allowing them only for pupils completing primary 6, junior secondary school 3, and senior secondary school 3 to ease financial pressure on parents. Education Ministers Tunji Alausa and Suwaiba Ahmed say the reforms strengthen quality assurance, support sustainability, and ensure the textbooks reflect meaningful improvements in content rather than cosmetic changes. Now, the Speaker of the EKITI State House of Assembly says lawmakers passed key bills that boosted development and governance in 2025. Adeoye Aribashoye described the year as productive, citing progress in lawmaking oversight and constituency representation. He said major laws included reforms in local content, healthcare regulation, revenue administration and elections, as well as the timely passage of the 2026 budget. The Speaker noted that the revenue law positions EKITI as the first state to adopt a harmonized tax framework ahead of the new fiscal year. Speaking today, Aribashoye said the Assembly's use of digital tools improved transparency and public engagement, adding that plans are underway for a paperless legislature. He pledged continued focus on impact laws and oversight in the interest of EKITI residents. Let's go on a quick break. The news continues when we return.
Enhancing cybersecurity. As cyber attacks grow more sophisticated, cybersecurity technologies are evolving to defend against them. AI-driven threat detection systems, zero-trust architectures, and advanced encryption methods are becoming the new norm. However, keeping up with rapidly evolving threats is a challenge, especially for industries that handle sensitive data like finance and healthcare. The cybersecurity market is expected to reach $248.26 billion by 2024. But the constant need for innovation and adaptation means businesses need to stay vigilant.
Good to have you back, and if you're just joining, this is Idea TV News at 9. Now the rest of the news. Away from Africa, a United Arab Emirates steel company has made a bid to buy one of Britain's largest collapsed steelmakers. Arabian Gulf Steel Industries has approached the official receiver to acquire Specialty Steels United Kingdom, which fell into compulsory liquidation last August. The Abu Dhabi-based firm is among several bidders seeking to take control of the business, which operates plants in Rotherham and Stockbridge and previously employed nearly 1,500 workers. The company was formerly owned by Liberty Steel and was declared insolvent. The bid made this weekend comes as the UK government monitors efforts to protect domestic steel production during a difficult period for the industry, marked by global oversupply and fresh United States tariffs. The official receiver says the sale process is ongoing with aim of completing a deal as soon as possible. Now in health news, KATSINA State has inaugurated a technical committee to drive the Nigeria for Women Program Scale-Up project aimed at improving women's livelihoods and economic empowerment across the state. The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Aisha Malumfashi, inaugurated the committee yesterday, urging members to act with diligence and accountability to ensure the project's success. The committee is chaired by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, with representatives from key ministries and state agencies. Officials say the program will strengthen women's economic capacity, expand access to financial services, and promote inclusive development in communities across KATSINA State. In business news, Nigeria will launch its first official national pavilion, Nigeria House, Davos, at the 56th World Economic Forum, scheduled from January 19 to 23rd in Switzerland. The pavilion is designed to showcase Nigeria's economic reforms, investment opportunities, and institutional capabilities to global policymakers, investors, and business leaders. The initiative, structured as a public-private partnership, will host ministerial engagements, policy dialogues, bilateral meetings, and cultural diplomacy throughout the WEF. The government says it aims to strengthen foreign investment, advance strategic partnership, and position Nigeria as a reform-driven, business-friendly economy. Nigeria House Davos marks the country's debut on the Davos promenade, joining other leading nations and corporations in projecting economic influence. Officials have called on public and private institutions to actively participate to ensure a strong and unified presence. And now finally in sports news, in a quarter-final clash at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat, Morocco, Morocco defeated Cameroon 2-0 to advance to AFCON 2025 semi-finals. Goals from Brahim Diaz and Ismail Sabari, scored in each half, secured the win for the hosts. Morocco displayed clinical finishing and solid defensive organization, asserting their status as tournament favorites. Cameroon struggled to find consistency, unable to break through the Atlas Lions' well-structured setup. The victory confirms Morocco's strong credentials on home soil as they prepare for a semi-final showdown in their pursuit of the continental crown. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News at 9. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought you news that Vice President Shettima reaffirms government support for armed forces. NAF airstrikes hit Boko Haram stronghold in Borno. Federal government launches new textbook and graduation policy. EKITI Assembly says key laws drove development in 2025. Away from Africa, UAE steel firm moves to buy struggling UK steelmaker. And in health, KATSINA sets up committee to boost women empowerment. In business, Nigeria to double Nigeria house Davos at World Economic Forum. And in sports, Morocco beats Cameroon 2-0 to reach AFCON 2025 semi-finals. And now do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Bassi. Thank you for your time.